How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the channel. As always, if you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe. It helps out, means a ton. You guys get plenty of fun stuff, not just Jujutsu Kaisen. We cover plenty of manga here on the channel. Anyway, if you have been around the channel for a little bit, you're probably going to start thinking I sound like a broken record when I say curse energy is tied to negative emotion. But it's usually pretty important when we talk about Jujutsu Kaisen, so I'm going to bring it up now. Remember that. Cursed energy is tied to negative emotion, and negative emotion is pretty key. Anyway, we know for a fact that when we're talking about Sukuna, that Ryomen Sukuna was somebody who lived in the real world, not just in the Jujutsu Kaisen real world. So, in our real world, Ryomen Sukuna was seen as villainous by the governing bodies back when he was alive. He was also worshipped and praised by some people in Japan in certain regions because he brought them Buddhism, he erected temples for them to pray at and all this stuff, and he helped out a lot of people. So he had followers, but he also had a lot of people who thought of him as a villain. Going back to Jujutsu Kaisen now, it's possible that this is true for Ryomen Sukuna's past in Jujutsu Kaisen as well. All we know is that at one point back then, everybody tried to kill him. Well, all the sorcerers tried to kill him, but they failed. That's the extent we know. We don't know if he had a lot of followers back in the day as well. I would say it's pretty safe to assume he did. I assume Ryomen Sukuna was not born as some all-powerful, two-headed, four-armed monster that killed every sorcerer around him. I'm sure Sukuna had a more normal life for a sorcerer back then than he did when he was just killing everybody. Now, one reason for Sukuna's strength is obviously the time period in which he grew up in. Everybody was stronger back then. At least, on average, people were stronger back then. They had to fight more often, they fought to die, they lived to fight and die against curses and other sorcerers and all kinds of stuff. They just honed their techniques more because of the way life was back then. But I don't think that's enough to put Sukuna so damn high up there with a cutting and fire technique. Like, he can cut things, and I guess he can make fire, and we don't know all about his technique, but Gojo has some weird, insane crap with these extra auxiliary eyes, which, can we stop and say, why is Gojo the only one with special auxiliary eyes? In Naruto, we have Byakugan, Sharingan, Tenseigan, all kinds of crap. Gojo's the only one? That's not fair. Come on, give somebody else some eyes. But anyway, if we stop and go back to cursed energy being tied to negative emotion, and we look at Sukuna as more of a normal sorcerer back in the day, at least starting out, we can imagine he had some kind of family, some kind of friends, some kind of something, if he's a normal person. Now, before we carry on with this thought, we need to go back and look at something he said in the Shibuya incident to Jogo, which I find to be rather important for at least what I am theorizing here. So he told Jogo in the Shibuya incident that humans and curses flocking together, comparing themselves to one another, it all just stunts their growth. What he should have done is burn down everything that he desired to nothing but cinders to try and achieve the strength of Satoru Gojo, not worrying about the future, not worrying about ideologies and labels and all of this. He should have just simply burnt down everything he desired. Cutting back to Sukuna's life now in the past, I think that is precisely what Sukuna did. I think he laid out the key for us right there. He already told Jogo what he should have done if he wanted to become that powerful. How would Sukuna know what he should have done unless he already did it? Let's think about it for a second. You can't really give somebody good advice on something you haven't done before. So, anyway, going with that line of thought, what are the chances that Sukuna was a normal sorcerer 1,000 years ago? But then, to try and become as powerful as he could, what if he finally realized, if my cursed energy is affected by my negative emotions, shouldn't I just send myself as deep down into my negative emotions as I can get? Shouldn't I burn everything away until there's nothing left for me to care about and nothing left to make me happy? Wouldn't I be stronger than everybody else if I hated more than everybody else? So, what do you think the chances are that Sukuna woke up and just burned everything down? Wife, possibly. Kids, possibly. Parents, possibly. Entire family, entire clan. Cohorts, co-workers, followers. Temples that he prayed at. What if he just burned every single thing down? We've seen Sukuna show us somewhat psychopathic and somewhat hedonistic tendencies. I know those are not the same thing. Those are not synonyms, but he's shown us some from both. So is it very possible that, well, one, Sukuna didn't start off like that. Maybe started as hedonistic, but possibly didn't start off as psychopathic and just absolutely batshit. Tell me, when Sukuna showed up and did that weird, like, head grabby, like, so many kids, so many women to kill. It's like the Heian period all over again. Like, the dude was absolutely psychopathic. Something is not right inside of Sukuna's head. Let's be entirely honest. You do not see that scene and go, yeah, that guy's got it together mentally. No, you don't. Sorry, that's just not how it goes. Anyway, yeah, it's possible that Sukuna decided to burn everything away to build himself up even stronger. Because if you burn everything away, if you kill everyone and everything you care about and just tear it all down, well, what's left to love? You already destroyed everything you care about. Who's left to hate? You're the one that did it. So all of this negative emotion not only swells up to an insane degree, he possibly snaps in his head going psychotic and just mental in general, which probably also helps. I'm just saying, like, somebody who's a little unhinged, probably more cursed energy than somebody with a level head on their shoulder. I'm just saying it right now. But anyway, yeah, all of this builds up, and then all of it gets directed back to him. When you sit there and think in your head, like, where can I send all this hatred? Oh yeah, I'm the one that did it. So, in this sense, Sukuna basically creates an entire Ouroboros just eating its own tail, becoming bigger and bigger, and fatter, and just swelling up with more and more cursed energy, to the point where he's basically this unkillable, two-faced, four-armed, god sorcerer cursed creature man. Like, it makes sense to drive yourself to that point, to make yourself hate yourself to an unending degree that can only do one thing: give you a whole lot of negative emotions. And we know negative emotions are tied to cursed energy. Now, on top of all this, I'm sure Sukuna was an incredibly good sorcerer before this. I'm sure Sukuna reached, like, his pinnacle, his peak, the highest potential of a sorcerer before this. But then, when Sukuna thinks, how do I get stronger than this? I know reverse cursed energy. I know the maximum of my curse technique. I have completed the reverse of my curse technique. I have combined the reverse and the normal function. I've done all of these things. I have domain expansion. I have all of this stuff. How can I get even stronger? I gotta burn it all down. And possibly that's what Sukuna did. So yeah, I think that little tiny blurb he has talking to Jogo in the Shibuya incident is actually a really huge key to unlocking how Sukuna became just so ungodly powerful. Because, I mean, this dude existed through death for like 1,000 years. The dude's nuts. He had to do something to get to this level. It's not just, oh yeah, I'm just really smart. I'm just really good at cursed energy, guys. That's all it is. There's got to be something there. There's got to be something he did that allowed him to reach these heights. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe. If you agree, let me know down in the comments. If you disagree, let me know your thoughts down in the comments as well. I'm completely fine with people disagreeing. And anyway, I'll see you next time. I'm out.